time, you know, compared to hundreds of years ago. It's funny to see right in here, kind of like for people to see and look at, and yet they eat beef in the restaurant. And here, they have nothing to fear from the buffalo here, and yet they mean a lot to us. I'm glad to be here. I wanted to say more, but I don't think we have to say anymore because I think it was a good prayer for all of you who came here today. It's for all of you to remember. You younger people who came through here today, remember this when you were here. Remember what you were praying for when you walked down that highway. A lot of us elders. I want to thank you for that. And someday when everybody looks 50 years from now, maybe some of you can look back, remember the time you walked over here when people tried to eradicate all the buffalo here who pose no threat to anybody. And I want to point that out. And it's something, when you look at our animal buffaloes there, they are the food for the original people of this Mother Earth. And when you see this happening to them, it's happening to us. It continues to happen to us. And it's not very good that people don't try to understand what the buffalo means in terms of the human beings that originally here. And that what happens to him happens to us. You have a lot of people, school kids going through here right now, looking at the buffalo. And a lot of them don't even know the history of this buffalo. I imagine in their own world, in their own country, the food that they have to maintain their bodies and their lives meant just as much to them as the buffalo is to us. I want to point out, you know, every time I seem to talk about something always gets in the way, interrupted, like a bunch of yokas around all the time. And so, I mean, I just want to point that out because you have a lot of disruptions every time I open my mouth. So, and I guess this is I guess this is what happens to me a lot, you know. You know, strange things, strange happenings. Supposed to be serious, right? But I don't see the buffalo concerned about anything. They're right here. We're among our own people. I just want to point that out. So if you think everything's perfect in life, think again, because that happens to me, just to throw me off. Anyway, it says Gardner School Heritage Research Center. And when you change that around, it's a research center for all Native American people. It started with a lot of us older people who went to federal boarding schools so they can change us. And it goes on and on and on. So when the buffalo here, they're lucky they're walking around here, but so they did that to us in boarding schools. You know, we can roam anywhere, but we were still prisoners. And so when that happened, you acculturate to another society and you ruin a whole generation of people. So I'm looking here at our relatives, and I seen a lot of other relatives when we came down the road. We seen the other animals that are just as important, and we seen human beings walking here carrying staffs in respect to their relatives here. You know, our friends south of here knew that you guys were doing this, and I'm glad also, for once, Lisa did something right. So she got us over here, so I hope she doesn't get a big head because of it, but it's once and occasionally us old guys have to listen to the younger generation when they got something to say. And so thanks to her, we came down here. And thanks to her, it helped all of our people here that's watching this buffalo here. And you know, if people do enough, and if you get this film out enough to let everybody in our own world and this Western Hemisphere know that the buffalo here poses no threat to anything. The threat that comes to us is people who are walking across the country for diabetes. Now, you can look into that area. That is something that could be affecting us in terms of the foods we eat today. It doesn't say anything about the buffalo. So what have we in this trouble? And the buffalo are just like us. Nobody understands them. And nobody understands us. Nobody understands the different cultures we come from, and different tribes. Nobody understands when they see us walking down the highway, a buffalo skull in the arms, or a sage, or feathers. The one thing you don't see there is weapons, guns, knives. You don't see anybody here posing a threat to anybody around them. So why are people afraid of you? It's because they're very conscious of our world, and our own world here. We pose a threat to a lot of people who don't understand us. They write a lot of stories about us, make a lot of movies about us, but yet we're still here. And the Creator willing and everything, and the river still moves, and we don't destroy our world because of nuclear energy and what have you, that other things, then maybe tomorrow your younger generations will be here to walk among the buffalo. I don't see them running after us, tearing into us. They seem to be happy. Here, nobody's bothering them right now. But you got to remember, the Native American people were here first, and this is the food source that creates harmony for them in their very lives and their beliefs. And I want us to remember that all the time, for the many generations down the road. Flags I see like an eagle high. Its many colors carried by the strong and the brave into the midst of the mountain and beyond, for the honor of all my relations. The flowers the same when my grandfather's grandfather first bent down to smell its fragrance, that it remains the same now and for the ages that must come. Flags I see like an eagle high, its many colors carried by the strong and the brave into the midst of the mountain and beyond, for the honor of all. I always remember that one, because that's what it says together. There's one I especially remember. It was something to do. Bring my drum so I can sing my song of honor to my grandfather's grandfather on the night of the dancing stars, so I may remember that other time I danced with my grandfather's grandfather so long ago when my land was young. That's it to hello. You know, to be sure to have I made a mistake there. But I'm human being. That one mistake I repeat, that one flags I see, I repeat it twice. So, anyway, I just want to point out, it's for our ancestors here. It's something we all carry in within ourselves, a belief that we will be here tomorrow, and for the ages that must come. You know, the stones that know no age, we will always be here. And I'm glad to be part of a group that came here. I went through this before. Same thing, buffalo in the corral. And the same thing they did to the buffalo was to move from one pasture to the other, and the buffalo would stagger out to that other big pasture, and they would all come back into the little one. And that's what they're doing to us. Native American people, they give us this big pasture and we go out there, but we don't want to explore. We come right back into the little one for security. And it's not good that all the four-legged creatures, anything on this world, feels unsafe with unseen weapons coming their way, but still all this within their very being a danger that they can't understand. And I'm glad to be part of this group of the Longest Walk 3. Let's focus on our message that we carry from west to east, that our people may live and they eradicate this disease that we cannot see. And talk with us. Oh.